Hi guys, Nigel here with you again, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and today I have a sort of pretty big review for you, and it's quite a few little things I'm going to add into one video because it's so difficult to make a whole video about each item individually. So I've had a massive haul come from Ed over at Premium Hobbies. Some of the stuff I've ordered, some of the stuff he sent for me to basically show you what he's had in. He's just managed to get a massive order in of Mr. Hobby and a few other bits and pieces. So all this stuff has been delivered to me. So just quickly go through it. First of all, I've got some Tamiya Extra Thin, so he's got that back in stock. We've got some Mr. Surfacer 1200 and some Mr. Surfacer 1000. As you all know, I go through this stuff like wildfire, so I've got those in. Okay, I've got some MRP. This is the new Japanese range of colour. I've already got one of these and I bought another one. This is the Cowling colour. I did a test of it and it's a very, very sort of dark greeny, bluey sort of black colour. And I thought it might be great to try on a Lancaster on the black undersides so we don't get that sort of monotone black. So I thought I'm going to give that a go on one of the models and I'll probably try it on the 1/48 kit. But be interested to see how that goes. Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners back in, so it's really handy to see this. I can see the health and safety stuff is just getting more and more and more. It's like, yes, we know it's dangerous. Rapid Thinners. Rapid Thinners is basically very similar to Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners. If I'm doing something that I want to dry quickly or I want to clean the airbrush out quickly, I use Mr. Colour Rapid Thinners. But generally 99% of the time I'm painting, I use Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners. The reason being, the paint comes out of your airbrush and for all intents and purposes it's coming out of there as minuscule droplets of paint and they land on the surface. If it's a really hot day, the paint will dry very quickly. If you use rapid thinners, the paint will dry very quickly. If it's a really hot day and you use rapid thinners, you might even end up with a powdery finish. But basically what happens is the paint lands on the plastic, dries. Okay, so what you want it to do is hit the surface wet and then flow. If you could imagine if you took one drop of water and dropped it on the surface and it just sat there like a drop of ice, that's what's happening. What you want it to do is hit the surface and flow. So if you use Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners, you're guaranteed to get a smooth finish. I recently sprayed some Mr. 1200, some of this stuff here, Mr. Surfacer 1200, thin with rapid thinner, sprayed it and it just dried so fast and it had a slightly rough finish. Use Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners, that won't happen. If you do get that issue, one thing you can try is load your airbrush out with Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners, just neat, okay, and airbrush over lightly over the rough surface and it may well melt the surface and take it back down. Try it at your own peril, but I've done it a couple of times and it's worked for me, especially in areas like where Phantoms, where you've got the intakes next to the cockpit and you get down in there and all the paint is in turbulent air and it dries on the surface. You could just lightly go over with this and it will take it down, believe me. So I've got those, and I've also got this, new to me, never tried this before. This is the Mr. Tool Cleaner and I thought I'd give it a go. I couldn't get a hold of any Tamiya airbrush cleaner, which people say is basically the same as Extra Thin. So I thought I'd give this one a go. I actually don't want to use it as a cement. I want to use it as a cleaning item. Now I've looked on here, there are a few warnings. It says do not use to clean up painting mistakes. Doing so can dissolve plastic and other model materials. I have given it a go. And where was it? I tried it here. Where was it? There. I have given it a go and I tried a couple of scrap plastic parts and it has actually glued them together. So if you want to save money, you can get yourself some of this and you can use it as a glue. But it did take a while to dry. But that is actually glued together solid. This is Revell plastic, so maybe it does work as a cement, who knows, but that's not why I bought it. But I'm going to show you in a minute how it works as a tool cleaner. This stuff is amazing. It is absolutely incredible. So that's that for my sort of supplies, the restock. Just give you some prices on this. The rapid thinner, currently this large one is out of stock. Sorry, no, the rapid thinner is in stock. So you've got the rapid thinner, which is £9.95. and the Mr. Colour Leveling Thinner, they're both £9.95. Okay, the Mr. Tool Cleaner is currently out of stock in this size, in the 400, but they do have the 250ml for £7.10. This one is £9.95, so if you want some straight away, get yourself some 250, and I think when you see what this stuff does, I think you're going to want to get yourself some. The MRP black is £4.95. Okay, so all the MRP paints I believe are £4.95. Tamiya Extra Thin, which has been out of stock for a little while, he's got it back in, £3.95, which is a lot cheaper than you're going to find it on eBay and places like that. And then the Mr. Surfacer, which I go through like wildfire, these are £5.80 each, which is very reasonable, because my other one, which I've got here, which I bought a long time ago, was £5.50, so very low price increase, especially in today's market. I was absolutely amazed, guys. My house insurance renewal just came through. It's gone down. My house insurance has gone down. About the only thing in my life that has. And you can see here we've got more health and safety stuff on here. So basically, that's those there. Okay, so that's all our consumables taken care of. And as I say, in a minute, I'll show you what this Mr. Tool Cleaner does. It's awesome. But I did start to tell you, it says on here, Mr. Tool Cleaner reacts on synthetic fibre, plastic and rubber. Do not spill it on clothing, tables and painted materials. Sue, you better not get into this, because Sue over to Ice Queen 7, she seems to be spilling a lot lately. It's a volatile substance. Do not leave the container open for long periods. Do not mix Mr. Tool Cleaner R with other thinners. Okay, it is pretty amazing stuff. I think it's basically like that. So anyway, now some new items to show you, which I've certainly never seen before. Well, the one thing I have seen before is these. Now these are they're tool protector things, and you can see, if you look on here, that's all the sizes you get, and they're basically silicone rubber. They're made by Platts, and they're silicone rubber protectors, and you can see they're designed to protect your tools. So I haven't opened these yet, but I know that in the past, I keep tools in drawers and stuff like that. Here's all my drills and everything, and everything's just in there like this. And quite often I've put my hand in and not cut myself, hurt myself on a drill or whatever. So if you've got cutting tools like I have here, scissors, cutting tools, screwdrivers, stuff like that, all just in a drawer. Sometimes good to protect those, because if you start fishing around, you could cause a serious injury. So basically, these are just silicone rubber tip protectors to go on your tools. So I've got the largest one there, which I believe they are recommending for like larger tools. So if I take these Euron, these are brilliant, these things. There's Euron metal cutting snips. So put them on there. I could put those over there, and that'll protect me, because the ends of those is very sharp indeed. So that'll protect them. So that's handy. And then we've got the next one, which is the blue one. So I can put that on my Tamiya. That's just like that. And not only does it keep them closed and protected, it protects the blades, stops them knocking into other things, getting damaged, but it's also going to stop me from hurting myself if I'm fishing around in a drawer. I have some tweezers here. Okay, there is a clasp on them, but they're broken, so I can put them in there and that'll protect them, or I could even put them in a smaller one like so, and that'll protect them. Okay, but I'm going to choose to put it in that one there. So that's those tweezers. They're protected. And then this is my little scribing tool, which is very sharp on the end. I can stick that in there. Note it's too loose. I can stick it in there. Note it's too loose. What have we got in here? We've got another couple in here. So we'll get these out. That's going to be too loose. I'm sure that one's going to be fine. There we go. So that one's going to sit on there like that. And now I can't hurt myself on any of those tools. And also when they're in a box or whatever, knocking around, they can't damage each other. One thing I would suggest this is good for, if you're one of those people who has to set up your area and then put it all away again, your tools probably spend longer being knocked around against each other than they do actually being used. So probably quite good for that. And those things are $11.95 for the set, and you're getting, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. So there's 8 in the set for $11.95. Maybe you want them, maybe you don't, I don't know, but they are quite handy for protecting your hands and protecting your tools. So there we go, that's those. Next thing I've got here, Premium is it Premium Products? Premium Designs. So if you actually put Premium Hobbies into Google, it will come up Premium Hobbies, and then you'll have kits and paint and blah blah blah, and underneath at the bottom it says Premium Designs. If you click on Premium Designs, you'll see what he makes, and he does all this sort of stuff, these holders and things like this. One of his new products here, this is for the Mr. Hobby range. I've got one here, just a pair of the Mr. Cement S and SP. I've also got this Mr. Cement Deluxe, so I've got 3. I don't really need 4, I only need 3, but basically they will go in there, and they're actually a very nice fit. Yeah, they're slightly, he's loosened them up slightly because that one's quite a tight fitted there. So basically that's going to hold 4 if you've got the Mr. Hobby. So you have the Mr. Cement Deluxe, Mr. Cement S, Mr. Cement SP, and then there's the Mr. Cement SP Black, and you can have all of them in there, and that's like that. If you want to make them tighter, wrap a bit of masking tape round, push it in, and then you can pick them both up together like that. The other thing you can do, even if they are loose, if you pick them up and squeeze them together, it won't fall over. So there you go. So that's that one, and that is currently available in stock, and it is £7.95. Don't forget, guys, with all these products I'm talking about, use the code NMB10 and you're going to get 10% off. So that's Nigel's Modelling Bench 10. Put that in the discount code in the order form when you're online, and you get 10% off all these prices. So right, next we've got this, well, let's go into this rigging. So this is a new, I think it's a new Infini product, and basically we've got some rigging here. So we've got medium, fine and super fine. So this is 1/72 scale, 1/48 scale and 1/32 scale aero rigging. Now this has come at a great time for me because I'm going to have to put some rigging on the Lancaster. Rather than rigging, it's more antennas. But basically it's quick and easy rigging for aero models, uses the best material, stretchable 6 times its size. Product application uses are as follows: medium, suitable for over 1/32 scale aero models. So I'm guessing this stuff is probably Easy Line, but I think it's cheaper. Now we can see that it's very similar to Easy Line. I think it's basically stocking elastic, to be honest, but it's obviously pre-dyed black, which is nice, and you can actually colour it if you want to. But you can see here that if I pull this out of here, if I just lay the roll loosely, okay, so if I hold this and I've got it without putting any pressure on it, if I hold this there, well, there's no bloody line, there's no markings on this. Let's do it in inches. So that's 6 inches. Okay, so I've got that there without stretching it, 6 inches, but I can stretch that. There you go, there's 21 inches, and I can still go further and further and further, and I'm going, it's literally, you know, you can see, you can't see the line because it's so fine, but you can really stretch it out, and then it comes straight back, and you can see it's deformed it. It's gone to about 9 inches, but I'm sure it will come back on its own. But basically, yeah, if you pre-stretch it, be very careful. I learnt the hard way. I thought I wanted it a bit finer, so I gave it a little bit of an extra tight pull, and I used it on an ME109, and eventually it just broke the antenna off. So don't put too much pressure on. It was really, I think, developed in the early days for railway modelers on their layouts, for doing their telegraph lines and doing fences and stuff on farmers' fields. I think that's what it was basically thought of for. So, but I know that I've got Easy Line, and I paid £10 for that probably 20 years ago, and these are £12.95 each. So well worth getting if you're into your World War I aircraft, or even just adding antenna and stuff to other models. But I think as well this goes finer, because I know that well, I certainly know that years ago you could only get fine and coarse or whatever with the Easy Line, but this one goes all the way down to 0.55, which is just over 2 thou. I mean, it's, sorry, 0.55, 55 microns. There's 45 meters on this, so it's going to do a lot of aircraft. But having that super fine stuff's really great, because as I said, you can get this to go really fine, but you have to stretch it, and if you overstretch it when you put it on the model, it's just going to slightly shrink back, and it's going to break something on your model. So perfect stuff there for your rigging. So there's 3 there. As I said, have a look on the site. There's a load more for ship modelers and all sorts. I said ship modelers, and they are £12.95. Don't forget NMB10, you'll get 10% off of that. So that's that. Keep some room here. Right, so now we're into some painting accessories. This here is an Infini paint clip stand, and it's basically a very nice sort of honeycomb system of what I showed you to make here a long time ago. You can see here, this is what I made from a corrugated box. Now, a lot of people don't like to use stuff like this because it's tatty, it doesn't look very professional, but it costs absolutely nothing and it's reusing cardboard. So you not only help save the planet, you're also saving yourself some money. If you don't want to use stuff like that, you can buy something like this. I know that a few manufacturers make something like this, but this one looks particularly nice because it's, rather than being corrugated cardboard, which most of them are, this looks to be like some kind of filter material. It looks like it's probably plastic. It's a more efficient and permanent product made specially with Korean molds. Made of polycarbonate material, it is resistant to external impact and does not deform even with moisture. Small parts can be fixed with paint clips. So that's good. If it's made of polycarbonate, none of the paints and stuff we use are going to affect it. So it should last you a very, very long time. But it is a very nice little thing. It is, what is it? I can't believe they've got no centimetre demarcations. It's just got 0 and then nothing else. So basically it is 8 inches long, so that's going to be 200 millimetres by 6 inches, so that's 150 millimetres. And as a little bonus, you're getting a couple of these paint clips on the side. More of that in a minute. But they're basically designed so that I've got some parts here on the paint clips. And as you can see, you can put them in there. These are the, if you've already got them, these are the painting clip M from HiQ Parts. I got these from Premium Hobbies, and they are fitting in there beautifully. The other nice thing I've just noticed that I hadn't considered, with the cardboard one like this, I have a choice of either having the parts in there and they're all flopping about and they can knock into each other, or I can push them into these smaller corrugations, but then they're tight and I need 2 hands to take them out. So if I've got it on the left here, I'm at the booth, I can't pull the part out because the whole lot wants to come, so I have to put it in a loose one and then they can fall into each other. So another benefit there, because basically I can have these parts right next to each other and have them not touching. Okay, I mean they are slightly close. If I just move that one there, now they can't touch. So that's really handy there. So that's that. And obviously, as I say, they come with these here. Let's just get this off carefully. Just pull that one out of there, pull that one out of there. So they come with these. These are the metal ones. We're going to look about these in a minute, and these are the wooden ones. Okay, so they fit in there really snugly. You can see how nice a fit that is in there. That's lovely. And these are a little more loose, but these are metal shafts and these are wooden shafts. I much prefer the metal shafts for reasons I shall cover in a minute. But that's basically very, very strong. I'm pushing down on there with my fingers with all my strength and it is not damaging it at all. Whereas with this one, if I push down on it, it will actually roll the edges over. So yeah, I'll be using this. It's a far nicer solution than that. However, this is £14.95. You can get your £1.50 off with NMB10, but it's still a lot more money than that because that costs nothing. So you pay your money, it takes your choice. You may also want to use your Tamiya paint stand type thing, but then you're only restricted to, like I said, 8 or 12 positions you can use, whereas this has got hundreds. So, and I'm guessing you could even open the end up. If I can get the end open, well, I'm guessing, yes it does, it continues all the way to the ends. So if you actually take it out of its box or cut these ends open, you'll have even more areas there to put your parts in. So there you go. So maybe it's designed to be used out of the box. No, they've got it here being used in the box. And they're promoting here their Infini advanced paint clips and their Infini paint clips, which I'm going to show you now. So these are the ordinary ones and these are the advanced. They've got protective covers on the end and everything. So that one's £14.95, comes with those two. don't forget NMB10, you'll get your 10% off. So that makes it what's going to be about £13.50, probably £13.52 or something. So that's the paint clip stand. Then here we've got another Infini product. Now I know what you're thinking. I did see that Andrew, Mr. Gledhill, put a comment up saying that you don't need to go buying these things because they're too expensive. You can just go and get, I think he said you can get 20 of the ends from Amazon and then put cocktail sticks in them. Well, Andrew, here we have 36, okay? And these are the standard Infini paint clips. And we've got 36 of these in here, and they are basically the same as I just showed you with that stand. So basically it is a crocodile clip that will pick up and hold small parts, like so, okay? And you can put your parts in there. Let me find something. Here's one of my Lancaster engine stands. You could put that in there, hold that in there, paint it, and then stick it in your stand, get your stand over, stick it in your stand to let it dry, and there you go. And you've also got a nice tapered end on there to make it easier to find the hole. So there we are. So that's, whoops, I was off camera. So that's that, okay? So you're getting 36 of those, and as I say, 36 of those with the wooden handles, and you can see it there. So there's basically a little clamp that closes up and you've got a wooden handle. Now the wooden handle ones, these here Infini paint clips are, where did I write it down? Here we go. These are actually £9.95. So you can get 20 of these on Amazon for £6 and then get your own sticks and add them. Or you can get 36 of these already done. And if you take your 10% off, they're going to be £9. So I think you'll find this actually cheaper just than buying just the clips on Amazon. So, you know, it's often, you can often save money, but always double check first. So basically that is cheaper than doing it yourself. So I know that Emma, who watches all my videos, was asking about it. There you go. I don't think Emma's in the UK though, and Premium Hobbies don't currently ship outside of the UK, but you can get Infini products all over the world, and the prices will be set by Infini, I'm guessing, so they're going to be pretty close. In fact, they're made in Korea. I think Emma might be over that side of the world somewhere, I'm not sure. But anyway, there you go. So that's those. And then here we've got the Infini Advanced Paint Clips, which I much prefer. Now, you're getting 20 of these rather than the 36. But these have the advantage of, they've got a metal shank. So one, it's a lot stronger, okay? Two, I find it easier to hold. I just don't like the feel of these wooden, I don't know, I can't stand the bloody cardboard, the cardboard drinking straws we get these days. I can't stand the feel of them. I'd much rather have that. And it's the same with this, I don't like it. And all the other thing, the disadvantage with these, if you get paint on them, which you will, when you clean them, you can't clean the paint off, it's just going to soak in. So, you know, if you like your tools to stay nice and clean and tidy, and you like to keep your bench looking professional, these are going to be a much better option. Or you can get these, as I say, the high-Q ones, Paint Clip M, and these are all polished rather than having this black coating on them. We'll do a little test in a minute. I'm not sure if that Mr. Tool Cleaner will affect this paint. We'll see. So that's those, and they've also got this rubber cap on the end, so if you're holding painted parts like this, it's not going to scratch it. So if you were holding that in there and you just wanted to spray one side or paint one side or whatever, you're holding a small figure, you can put that on his leg. It's not going to scratch it like these naked jaws are. Okay, so that's the professional. And as I say, you only get 20 of these, and they are slightly more expensive at £12.50. But I would still rather pay £12.50 for 20 of those than £6 for some clips from Amazon and then make them up myself with wooden sticks. And I would also rather pay £9.95 for those and get 36 rather than 20 from Amazon, especially if you take your 10% off. And I don't know why, but that one does not want to go back in the box. I think it's probably, there we go, it's caught on the flap on the other end, but basically we'll close that up. So there we go. So that's those. So those, the wooden ones, like I say, £9.95 less your NMB 10, so £9. and these £12.50 less your NMB10, so that's going to be £1.25 off of that. So that's going to make them £11.25 roughly. And then finally, I've got these. Now, I looked at these and I thought, why has he sent me so many bloody paint clips? And then I noticed it says reverse. Now, you haven't seen this part of the stud yet, but you can see here, I've had to put this on a lump of blue tack and hold it on a stick to paint it, okay? And I had to do the same with this, I had to do the same with this, and I had to do the same with this. Now with this, you can force this onto a wooden stick like so, like I did, and then paint it, okay, absolutely fine. All right, this, you put a lump of blue tack in, stick a stick in it. But if you want something more professional, here we have, does this open on the bottom? These are the small ones, and these are from a company called Hobby Base. As I guess, they're all going to come out together. So we have basically got here reverse clips. Now these, as I said, these are the small ones. So what we've got now is a clip working in reverse, which is a really nice touch. So I can pick up, I can put that on there, and I can paint it. Okay, and then when it's finished, I can, without touching it, I can drop it off somewhere, whatever. I can put, whoops, throw that across the room. This is my camera for my Lancaster. I can put that on there, paint it, job done. Not worrying about lumps of blue tack. I'm not getting blue tack grease on my fingers and stuff before I start painting and everything. I'm not risking having, like you get here, when you get the blue tack run up the edge, and then you find that you can see your primer through the paint and you've got to start again. So I think this is probably a far better solution. So these are the small ones, okay, and then these are the larger ones, and I haven't got these out of the packets at all yet, so I don't really know how big these will go, but I'm imagining from what I've just seen there, they're going to go pretty large. So there's that one. Let's take that out of there. As I say, these are the large ones. You can see that's going really big, and it's got a little, you can see it's got a little sort of grip on the end, a little exposed, a little extending bit to make it grip. So that's going to go in there, and that's going to hold that. So no more worrying about holding stuff with blue tack. Now we've got this great big toolbox here, this wooden box off of the Daskwerk Stug, and it can even go diagonally with that one and hold it. So you can see I'm holding that now diagonally, and it can easily come across the sides, but if you hold it diagonally I think it'll be a bit more stable on there. So yeah, really nice, very handy tool. In fact, I'll leave that on there. And then on the bottom of here we've got the pointed ends, so if you're using this type of thing, it's going to go in there. It's quite a big shaft on there. Well, hey, you like a big shaft. So as I said, it's quite a tight fit in there, so you know, you might be better off if you've got this paint stand. Yeah, you can put these in here, look. Let's just make some room. I can put that in there like that, and I can still pick it up with one hand, whereas if I put that in there, it wants to grip because it's just slightly bigger. I can use the smaller holes, but then they fall about everywhere. So this is a lovely bit of kit actually. I think it's probably, for what it is, it seems a lot of money when you think this is nothing, but I think I'm going to come to love it and get used to it a lot. I think the other problem is if you use it not in the box, then you're going to end up with your parts just falling through. So there we go. But yeah, so why didn't I think of that? I never ever even dreamt of having expanding. I've always had these, never thought of having expanding ones, but what a brilliant idea. So that's the reverse clip large, clip large, and that's the reverse clip medium or small. And there they are there. So no, sorry, that's the large, duh. These are the small. Okay, and there they are there, and they are lovely. So basically, there are the small, sorry, these are the large over here. Get yourself together, Nige. So basically, the small ones of these are £7.50, and the large ones are £7.50. So once again, you're going to get your NMB10 off of that as well. So that's going to make them like £6.75. Is it worth going to Amazon and making your own? So there you are. So that is that. Right, I'm just going to clear up. I need to get my dirty workbench, dirty mat on here. So I'm going to show you how this stuff works. I'm amazed. Okay, so Mr. Tool Cleaner R. As I say, got this because I couldn't get Mr. Tamiya airbrush cleaner. So I thought I'd get some of this because it's obviously pretty hot stuff. And we often find, don't we, if you do airbrushing, you will know this, you'll often find you will get a clog in your airbrush that you just can't sort of shift. And what you have to do is strip it all down and let the nozzle soak and everything. Or I have to go in with I get a cocktail stick and I cut the end off it and make it into a slither and then clean it out with that. Never ever put anything metal in your nozzle. But basically, this stuff is so hot, I think it will clear anything. So I think if you've got an issue with the airbrush, pour the paint back into your mixing pot or whatever, give it a quick clean out with some old thinners, and then pour a drop of this in, blow it through. I think it will clean anything. The reason being, I did a test of this last night. Now I've got here, these are my my Stug 3 tools, which I've done some woodwork on. So on this end of this clip, you can see there is paint, okay? So on there we have the tan colour, and you can see below that there's like a dark grey colour, and there's a green colour. So that's at least 3 layers of paint on that, and probably underneath there is some Mr. Surfacer. Yes, there is. See the light grey on there? That's Mr. Surfacer primer. Okay, we should find the same on this one. And this one, yeah, this one's got black on it as well. So that may be Mr. Surfacer Black. It may be LP. Okay, so there's that one. Something else I forgot to mention. Ed has this paint in stock, which I think is getting very difficult to find anywhere. LP21 Italian Red. If you want some, get onto him. I bought 2 of them because I could never find it anywhere. And the other one he's got, which I think is quite hard to find, is LP50 Bright Red. So I got those as well. So there we are. But basically back to this, what I've done is decanted some into an old Tamiya jar. Never throw your Tamiya jars out, guys. Soak them in some isopropyl alcohol, leave them for 24 hours, give them a wash out, and they're great to go. And because these things cost about $1.25 each, I think, and the paint's only $1.95, so you may as well keep the old jars, and they're great for mixing up. I've got Sprugo in that one, look for HK, because HK plastic's hard, and all sorts. I mix all my paints up, and you can see here I've got the cream colour I used for the Stug. So yeah, basically keep your old pots, clean them out, you can always use them again. So this has got the Mr. Tool Cleaner in it. So I'm just going to show you this real time so you know I'm not trying to rip you off, and that is literally just Mr. Tool Cleaner. So as I say, this has got 3 or 4 layers of paint on it. Watch this. 2 or 3 seconds in there. Got one stubborn bit of black there, does not want to come off. There we go. As you can see now, on the end it's clean. I haven't gone up the side here where the green paint is. But I can basically just put that in there, splash it about a bit, or just put some more in there so it's deeper, and then wipe that off. There we go. So you can see that now, it's good as new. And this is the beauty, as I say, with these steel shafts rather than the wooden shafts. It all cleans up lovely. So there we are. Again, this one here got the same sort of levels of paint on it in there. Just a quick swirl round and then wipe it off. Look at that. So you can imagine how good this is going to clean your airbrush out. Now, something I found just before I started making this video, these are reverse tweezers I use, and they must have 15 or 20 layers of paint on them. You can see on the end there, you can see how thick that paint is on there. You can see it's built up a layer, it's all rough. So let's see how it copes with this. Obviously I didn't try it offline because obviously it would have ruined the test. But I'm just going to put that in there, and I'm going to leave it a bit more than a couple of seconds just to give it a bit of time to work. But how good is it going to work with that? You can see it coming off. We can see some metal showing through. Wow, I'm going to give it another dip. And you can imagine if you left it in there to soak for a couple of hours, it would probably all just fall off on its own. we can see how much paint is on there. We're actually building up a layer on paint on here, and you can see it all rolling off. But yeah, something else. So I would thoroughly recommend this, guys, as having a tool cleaner. As I say, be very careful. It does say it dissolves rubber and synthetics and stuff and plastic. So that has done the job on there. Oh, the other one, brushes. I got a brush here which is caked. You know, I never clean my Mr. Surfacer brushes out. It's an old brush there. It's got a turned over end on it, as you can see, and it is solid. It is caked in Mr. Surfacer in there. Wipe it on the side. There we go. It's clean, or it's clean-ish. If I get in there and work it up the side of the, because it is an old brush, I don't really worry about it. There we go. Same again, this one here, exactly the same, caked with Mr. Surfacer. Put it in there, rub it on the side. There we go. And I'll tell you something I think I might try eventually. You know, sometimes if you get like a Hasegawa kit or something and it's a very hard, very glossy plastic and your primers don't seem to key, I wonder if you put a bit of that in with your Mr. Surfacer and sprayed it on, if it would sort of make it bite in, because it's going to eat into the plastic. But we'll give that a go. The one thing they do say is don't spill it on your bench. So let's see what it does to our bench. I wonder if it cleans out our pipettes. I have pipettes for dirty stuff and I have pipettes for clean stuff. But it says not to spill it on your bench. Let's put it over here on a nice bit where there's plenty of ink. Put the cap back on. Grab our cloth. Oh dear. You can see what it's done to our bench. So, oh, that's very sticky. So yeah, be careful of your bench. There we are. So there we go, guys. That has been a review of the Premium Hobbies products. I'll just quickly run through the prices for you again so you know how much it is. People send me messages and say, oh, Celevision and all that. It's not Celevision. What it is, it's me getting more successful on YouTube because of you guys watching and subscribing. So I'm getting companies that want to send me stuff to promote their products because my audience is getting bigger. It's the same as television. You all know that the little channels, they get very few adverts from very small companies. People like ITV or the big channels in America like HBO, they're going to get big companies coming in spending thousands and thousands of pounds to get their products shown on that. And that's what happens. So what happens is I pay for a lot of this stuff. The paint clips and everything have been given to me to promote and I will use them. I may well give some stuff away, I don't know. But all the thinners and paints and everything I buy. So there we go. So basically the rigging was $12.95. Those little poly caps I showed you were $11.95. The paint stand, $14.95. The advanced paint clips were $12.50 with the metal shafts. We were going to try that, weren't we? The black shafts. The cheap paint clips, 36 of them, are only $9.95. You got your reverse paint clips, the large and the small, they're only £7.50. Extra thin back in stock at $3.95. The MRP paints are $4.95. Mr. Colour leveling thinners and the rapid thinners, $9.95 for the 400 millilitres. Tool cleaning, this one here, which is the 400 ml, which is $9.95. Currently out of stock, but he has it in the 250 ml in stock for £7.10. And then you've got the Mr. Surfacer, 1000 and 1200. They're £5.80 each. And don't forget, NMB10 gets you 10% off of all those products. Now, this is taking a brand new tool and trying to ruin it. So we've got what I think here is a metal shaft, which is painted. Is it metal? Yes, it's steel. Will it affect this paint on the end? Okay, that's had a few seconds in there, as you can see. And it is slightly, you can see we've got a little tiny bit coming off. But it hasn't actually destroyed it, so you can still, I mean, up here you've got a plastic sheath anyway, so you're going to have to get, you know, all the way up to where my thumb is to cause an issue. But this here is painted steel. You can see that it's actually just taken a couple of little bits off, but it hasn't really dulled it. So yeah, very good quality. So as I say, you know, people will tell you that it's cheaper to do this, it's cheaper to do that. You know, I can tell you that it's far cheaper to make one of these from cardboard than to buy that paint stand. Which one is the superior product? The paint stand. When it comes to these clips, why make them yourself if you're going to end up with a superior product for less money? Right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all soon with another Lancaster Stug or something video. Bye for now.